We're here interviewing Dr. Dorsey for her Institute to Transform Leaders. And today's question is, how has fitness and sports changed your life?
You know, that's a really good question. I've always been, growing up in high school, I was always the individual that was a part of, volleyball and softball and basketball. But, I was always this heavy individual. So, believe it or not, I didn't realize that I had a low sense of self. So, when I started college, I began to, unfortunately, because I didn't have really good grades and I sucked on the SATs because I only made a 650, or it might have been a 550, and I think they were giving you 300 back then just to sign your name. I didn't do very well, so I applied to college, and my school counselor at that point told me that I didn't have what it took to apply to a 4-year university, so I should only apply to a community college. So of course that fired me up inside, and I couldn't believe that he said it. So I applied to one university, which was the University of Maryland Eastern Shore, and luckily I got into their summer program, which was considered a bridge program for students who didn't do well academically and or on SATs. As a freshman who didn't do well in high school academically overall on SATs, I had to sit out my entire first year as a freshman, which was really hard because I went from 3 years of playing sports, fall, winter, and spring, to not being able to do anything. And as a first year freshman, away from home, in co-ed dorms with a refrigerator and a full kitchen, it was like an apartment away from home. So what did we do? We ate. So I became this heavier freshman, and I couldn't play sports come that spring year, and it didn't sit well with me. So I developed running. I remember Backbone at the University of Maryland Eastern Shore, and at that point it seemed like 26 miles to me, because I couldn't get around a half a mile, let alone a full mile at that point. So having the low self-esteem that I had and the low self-confidence at that point, and being borderline 14, 16 waist with a couple rolls, and I don't mean rolls I was eating, but I mean rolls around my waist, knowing obesity and diabetes ran in my family, I decided to take this challenge on one step at a time. And I started off on Backbone Road, and Backbone Road ended up beating me up instead of me beating it up. And so I was a little defeated, and then I decided to get up each morning and take it one step at a time. So I would walk a half of Backbone Road and then turn back around. The next morning I would just take it one step forward and I would turn back around. And then eventually I just said, the heck with Backbone Road, because it just seemed so far when you were running it. So I went to the track. So, I started to learn that one lap around the track was a quarter mile, and then 4 laps around the track was an entire mile. And I started thinking in terms of, oh my goodness, I have to run in circles. Geez, how exciting is it to run in circles? Well, it wasn't a whole lot being a 19-year-old or 18-year-old back then. I was about 175 something pounds and wasn't a social butterfly and didn't have a whole lot of friends. So I really had to dig deep down inside of me to figure out what it is I was going to do and how I was going to make this work. So fitness and sports kind of became a part of me to the point where I had to embrace it. But stay tuned, because I'll pick this up, how fitness have changed my life and helped me to develop into the leader that I am in the next segment. So visit the website, www.thecreativegrp.org. Click on the link that says Institute to Transform Leaders to find out more about this discussion. Talk to you later.